internet, and this is AJ here with a project for you today. It's been a while since I actually uploaded a video, so I thought I'd share this one amazing build that I did all on my own, original design. If it's not, definitely let me know down in the comments, but this will probably be like 1 to 3 parts that I do for this. It's a big project, so it's gonna have to probably be broken up into 3 parts. So today, I want to talk about the design and the prep that I sort of had to do to build this gaming portable that I'm going to show you today. I was originally going to do this for the Hack Like Heck contest, but unfortunately, life just got away from me. I have been clear across the country so far this year, and to actually put the time and effort that was needed into making this project and sitting there and design and working out tweaks and dimensions and so on and so forth, it was more than I anticipated. So today, I'm going to show you basically the final design of what I came up with, if you can see. Yes, it's in 4 pieces. So you got this for the main console or main display, Raspberry Pi, controllers and such. And then I had to print out top piece. And yes, I want it to be different. As you can call this the goth boy, the goth man, the whatever you want to call it. And it just comes together again like that. So I'm sure on a lot of people's minds, you're probably asking yourself, why so big? And well, to answer that question, I was basically using up parts that I had here in my unit. It didn't make sense for me to go out and buy new parts. It was just stuff that I had laying around. And I figured, you know, I had this 7-inch TFT capacitive touchscreen needed to use up, and attached to it had a Raspberry Pi 3. And I figured, you know, it's there, might as well use it, might as well build some kind of enclosure for it. And that was basically the premise for that. The reason it looks the way it does, a little big and bulky, some people have said it looks like a really big Mickey Mouse type thing, you know, the ears and so on. That this is my second design that I was trying. I wasn't sure exactly what I was going for, but I knew I wanted something that was just like how the Wii U controller is, basically. That's all that I've seen around. But I figured, you know, since Ben and Felix, they were working on their design, they made mention of it being like a SNES type machine. And so I had an SNES controller, and that's basically why they're rounded like that. So my inspiration for this was basically based off an SNES controller for Super Nintendo. And I just rolled with it that way, with putting in the components and making sure they fit in there. So as you can see, had some success. Haven't put it all together yet, just basically doing some test fitting, but today I'm going to show you the design and possibly some prep work. So let's get to it. Alright, so here we are with the initial design. Wanted to just take a moment to just mention that I had to break this up into 4 different parts. I don't have one of those G-Max printers with a really big print volume. So the reason for it being in the 4 parts like it is that the Robo R1 that I have only has like a 8x9x10 bed width. So I had to figure out a way, like, how am I going to get something this big to go in here? And basically, the only answer was to cut it into 4 pieces. And by doing that, it fit. It basically fit right on in. So you got your joystick here. It's an analog joystick. I wanted to put some buttons here for start and select, as it were. You know, A, B, Y right here as well. I also had in my disposal these 3-watt 4-ohm speakers. They were horizontal, rectangular, I should say. And this was just a cutout, so you know the sound would pass through. I don't have any speaker grills, or didn't have anything that I could really have thought of to put in there. Maybe there's some suggestions you guys could let me know about. So when you go through there, for some reason or another, when I did the shell command, it basically shelled out all of this when I attached the circular parts. So again, I'm new. This is my first design, so I was like, oh crap, I don't know how to come back from this. So I just sort of went with it, and I had to put in these posts using some 440 screw holes that I then put onto here. So that's what I had to do. Not quite what I wanted, but for my first time making my own design, it worked out. It worked out for what it's worth. So I had some pass-through holes put here. What else we got to talk about? This is where the Class D amplifier fits in. It's an Adafruit Class D amplifier. That's what goes in here. This is where the boost converter goes from 3.3 volts to 5. And then you can obviously, as always, micro USB charger, and you can recharge the battery. I have a LiPo battery. It's one that, again, I had laying around. I converted it to a smaller JST connector, 3.3 volts, but it's running at about 6,000 milliamps. So the playtime is going to be just okay here. It's going to be fine. You're going to be able to play to your heart's content, to tell you the truth. So the other neat thing that I wanted to try from Adafruit, they had another little breakout board. It was a capacitive touch toggle switch. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that before, but that's what I wanted to try. And made a little cutout for where the capacitive toggle is. So right through in here, but it's a little breakout board. You just put, you know, right into here. Well, can't see really well. Let me show you. Well, you've seen a hole, you know, just like that. And just put it right on in. And it should fit. Actually, I've tested it. It does fit. More hole pass-throughs, and then I had like a little indicator LED that I'm going to put up here. Other than that, this thing is pretty simple right now. Nothing too complicated or complex to it. It was just my imagination and just, you know, what could I do? What could I make? Other than that, we'll get to the 3D printing. And you'll see how that all came along. It was a pretty awesome experience. So since the 3D printing is done now, you can see basically the rough design of what we got going on here. It's a little big. All the pieces still have to be glued together. I don't have the Gorilla Glue and the accelerant on hand at the moment, but we will put all the pieces together. I do have some of them here right now. This was the TFT that I was talking about. I believe this is a no HDMI setup, seeing it's not using a HDMI cable, if that's how it's said to be. Just I2C for the display, Raspberry Pi 3. I do have RetroPie on here already, so that's good to go. This was the battery I was telling you about. This is the 6 amp battery. If you're using it continuously, hopefully that should give out good power. I've been using this for quite a while now. But then the other fitting parts that I wanted to put in here obviously were the amp and the boost converter. And this is a small little board. It has it for dB gain, That's what all the other pins are. I wanted to make it modular also, so if something goes wrong I can just pull them out. And for the most part, it fits in there. Fits in there nice, it's just right on in. That's about it, and just screw it on down. Same thing with the boost converter, little Adafruit boost converter, and it just goes in here, and with a little mechanical strength, it'll pop in and work as well. This was the capacitive touch switch that I was telling you about, and this just touch it. It has a breakout for an LED for where the indicator light will go. And that's basically it. All I have to do is just wire it up and put it to the screen, put it to the Pi. And before you know it, we'll have a working RetroPie portable gaming console. So that's about all the time that I have for today. The design and the planning, showed you how it was 3D printed. I showed you the design. Man, what a task so far with just the designing part. 3D printing took almost, almost 4 days to get that correct and set up. Let alone I'm glad I live near a Micro Center so I can easily get my hands on filament as well too. But if you did enjoy this, make sure you like it, give it a thumbs up, and leave some comments in the leave the comments below. Tell me what you thought. So far, tell me what you would have done different in this design. I'm sure there'd be a handful of people who have ideas of how I should have done it right or done it differently, basically. Just let me know down below, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.